Hello, and welcome back to the only podcast that cares about the Tier 2 minion that goes pew pew. Jordan, how have you been?
Boom. I'm good.
You're good? Nice.
He goes boom boom.
He goes boom boom boom.
Pew pew makes it sound like you like an arcane cannon shooting for 2. No. He booms for 4.
He does boom. Alright. So we were gone for a couple weeks.
And boy, we got a lot to cover. So
we do have a lot to cover today.
let's do it.
We for anyone wondering why we were gone for so long, it's just we are limited to like 3 hours of content a month.
Busy, dude. We're busy.
And also we're busy, allegedly. Yeah, so we're gonna just jump right into it. So we had a balance change for Battlegrounds and for Constructed, and then obviously we got the new expansion announced today. So we're just gonna jump right in with the Battlegrounds changes. So the Battlegrounds changes we don't have pictures for, so sorry.
But doing those first.
We are doing those first. So we got
Right.
a new hero, which is Tess Greymane. And her hero power, it costs 1, and it refreshes Bob's Tavern with minions from your last opponent's warband. So it's kind of like Murozond, like on a stick, kind of.
You've left out the best part of this.
What's the best part?
The hero power's name is Bob's Burgles.
Bob's Burgles, yes. It's like Bob's Burgers. It's quite clever.
The creator was very happy with that name.
Yeah. I wonder how much.
I saw a tweet about it on Twitter. Oh, that was funny.
I wonder how people like. I've always wondered about that, like the Hearthstone flavor text and stuff. Like, how do they not get like copyright struck by like various
Bob's
media?
Burgles. I mean, it's like the name of the guy is Bob, and the name of the card art is showing is like burglar card from Reg or whatever.
Sure. I guess
there's
it's
nothing
original
there that
enough.
is even close.
Sure.
But yeah.
Yeah. So I'm gonna have you explain this because you like the hero power because you seem to have a better grasp on it. So like,
yes. So the problem with any 1-mana hero power in the Battlegrounds that you can't do the normal curve with it. You have to do the Rafam curve. And this one, it doesn't usually make a whole lot of sense, dude. It's a lot like Toki, where you have to like, it's slow, right? You have to curve slower, and it's not good till later.
Sure.
So the first like 5 or 6 turns, unless you like, verse Curator the first turn, and then hero power instead of leveling second turn, and like get a amalgam or something. It's pretty slow. Not the greatest. And it's literally like instead of Toki, where you get 1 from a higher tier, you get like consistency.
Yeah.
But, I mean, Toki's not very good because it's slow. You can't do the right curve. And for a 1-mana hero power to be good, you have to get a lot of upside to be able to like afford that. It's why like Edwin is like steadily fallen. He's still like up there.
Yeah.
But he'll never like those kind of 1-mana hero powers can only ever be so good because it alters your curve so much.
Yeah.
It doesn't always give you immediate benefit. And
So
a lot of the time with this character, you're just not going to want to use it. It just won't be helpful. You dragons, you verse pirates. It's like you don't have a hero power.
Yeah. So you were telling me before we started like something.
Yes,
so like you have to have board space for it. Is that how it works?
No. So if you're like Tavern 4, right, you would see 5 minions. If your opponent has 7, you see 5 of them.
Ah, okay.
If your opponent has 2, you see both plus 3 random ones.
Okay.
Like a normal roll would fill in.
See, I feel like that's not
all
that
of
bad.
them.
Does that mean you can buy tokens now?
You can what?
Does that mean you can buy
tokens?
Token? Yeah.
I think so. Let me pull this up again. I saw a picture of it.
That would be fascinating to me. Get a golden alley cat or something like that.
You can buy a 1/1
or the tabby cat. That's interesting.
So like there was a picture. I don't know who this is, but the Harsworth esports coordinator tweeted out she played Tess.
Mm-hmm.
Turn 1, she got Murloc token. Turn 2, she leveled. Turn 3, she bought another Murloc Tidehunter, and then hero powered, and saw the 1/1 Murloc token, the 2/1, like the actual body of the Murloc token, amalgam, and South Sea Captain. So I don't know why you'd ever buy the 1/1, but you could do it.
Well, if you don't have board space, right? Like, because if you have if you have 7 and you're trying to triple without like selling something awkwardly, that'd be kind
of if you're like Murlocs or something, and
yeah.
that somehow works, but I mean, I don't think you'll buy it very often, but
Sure. But
it's almost always better to sell things, make space, get more money.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I mean,
theoretically, you could.
it's one of those things where it's good if you get the right opponent and they have what you want, and then most of the time you just don't have a hero power.
It's not the
It'll
worst
sit
thing.
around Toki level, around tier 3, tier 4.
All right.
I'd guess.
Moving on, we got a couple heroes coming back. So King Mukla is coming back.
What a clown fiesta.
But he's very different. So he's got a 1-mana hero power that says, get 2 bananas. At the end of your turn, give everyone else 1.
So I have learned it works. So you press hero power, right? You get 2 bananas. You place them. It goes into combat. Once you're in combat, everybody else gets 1.
Mm-hmm.
So they will be able to use it a turn after you. But like, if you compare this to Edwin,
it's so much worse.
It's much worse.
Because
one of the benefits of having it be a spell instead of just targeting it anyway, you can spread it out, I guess.
Yeah.
Is the only benefit that I can see.
And it's
until they add something to interact with spells.
And your benefit is only marginally better than any one opponent. And to the field, you're like losing ground every time you do this.
Well, yes, but you only ever versus one person, so you gain +1/+1 extra.
Yes.
And you gain 2/2 immediately, and then they get 1 back. It's just not very good.
Yeah.
Like,
it's interesting, but I don't think it's good.
It's good in the sense that, like, you can, honestly, no, I think this is just very bad. Because you have to, like, you're going to want to hit it a lot to, like, get lots of bananas.
Mm-hmm.
To, like, charge minion up, a Rat Pack, a Hydra, whatever. But, like, you have to farm curve again, which is just never ideal.
Right.
So, like, you're getting a banana, you're getting 2 bananas, and then negative a banana, and then 2 bananas. So you're up 3, and then you're up 2, and then you're up 4, and then you're up 3. As opposed to, like, getting a minion, like, where they're from. I think this is probably better than, like, the next hero, and maybe better than Tess, like, consistent-wise, but if you get 1 good turn with Tess, I feel like you already just get more value than this hero power will give you.
Yeah, for sure.
And if you wait to use this, like, you almost have to, like, not use your, I don't know, it's weird. You either, like, don't use your bananas, you, like, stock up till you hit the right thing, or you just do a normal curve with no hero power to, like, 8 money, and then start using it, but, like, it just seems bad.
Yeah.
I feel once you're turn 8 or 8 money, wouldn't you just rather, like, be George at that point? Like,
yeah.
Like, and that's not very good because it's so slow.
So I just had a thought about Tess. Where most heroes, you want to go the opposite direction of the lobby, so like you can find your minions.
Sure. You're not like scared.
You want to find what everyone else is playing and go that way because then your hero power is way more consistent. And I feel like Tess is going to get a lot more goldens than any other hero.
Or go Murloc. So then if no one else does it, you just win anyway.
But yeah, that's true.
It's pretty slow.
Sure.
I think Tess is definitely better than King Mukla getting 2 bananas, giving everybody else 1. But, like, I just know I'm going to play this guy. I'm going to turn 1 buy a minion, turn 2 buy a minion hero power, pop some bananas on something, and then on, like, the 5 money turn, I'm going to verse, like, Kael'thas, who's going to, like, use my banana plus his hero power and have, like, a 5/5 rat and just blow me out of the water.
Oh, absolutely. Yep. That's pretty much all I need to say about Mukla. Next hero coming back is Dino Tamer Bran, which I believe is like entirely different. Like the banana thing at least was still similar for Mukla, but so Bran's new hero power is 1 mana, refresh Bob's Tavern with Battlecry minions. That seems really good exclusively for dragons, and maybe Murlocs a little bit. But for dragons, it's nuts. Right? Because you just like put a Kalecgos in play, and then you have as many Battlecry minions as you can afford to do. Still there, Jordan?
Oh, I'm sorry. I muted. I've been like interrupting you this entire time.
Oh.
Obviously, it's good when you have Kalecgos, but you have to get a Kalecgos. I'm curious, so I'm looking through right now, actually. I'm very curious. So, 1 mana, there are 5 Battlecry minions.
Mm-hmm.
There's
Several of
two
them are
tokens.
Yeah.
The 2 tokens, Dexabi, Volgar, Homunculus, and Rockpool Hunter. All premium minions.
Yeah.
Tier 2 introduces Metal Tooth Leaper, Zubat, Overseer, Pogo Hopper. Go Pogo Hopper with this person. Sit at tier 2. Try to find Pogo Hoppers.
Well, it's a lot easier to find them, like, because you're only gonna find what? Yeah, it's like 9 minions.
Yeah, with that hero power than all the other rolls too, right? But at that point, you'd rather just play Arana, because we'll talk about that next. But she got buffed, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think Arana's actually probably quite okay now.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is another one. It's 1 minute hero power, so you have to reform curve. It's got upsides with Murlocs and Dragons once you get to that point, but early game it's hit or miss. Early game, the best you can really do is either hit a token or hit Overseer, which then goes on a demon. Because I mean, that card was nerfed for a reason. That card's just really good. It's a 2 mana 4/6, and nobody understands it's a 2 mana 4/6, right?
Yeah.
That card's now it's a 4/5. It's a very good card though. That's about the best things you can do early.
Yeah.
So it's just another slow hero power where I'd rather just be like Eudora. I don't know. Eudora's slow, but you get a ridiculous payoff.
Yeah.
Or this, you don't.
All right, moving on. So that's the here. Let's talk about
3 heroes.
Yep. So we got
introduced.
some updated heroes.
Now we have 2 hero changes. The first one we just mentioned was Arana Starseeker. Instead of having to refresh 7 times to have Bob's Tavern always show 7 minions, you now only have to refresh 5 times.
Which is faster.
So you get your rolling consistency faster. I don't know in what world what's best to do this with, because people kind of gave up on her when they realized she was bad.
Sure.
I wonder if token, like the 2/1/1/1 song, the 1/1 rolling and then rolling 4 times. I wonder if that's the nuts. Probably not. This seems dumb. You probably want to buy a minion, hero power.
Well, think about
roll
it though.
Twice, roll 3 times. So you roll twice on 5 money, roll 3 times on 3 money.
But think about. I want to go back to what you just said though. So if you do that, where you buy 2/1, sell the token,
6 money with 7 minions to choose from.
Right. So 7. You'd have 7 tier 1 minions. Which
that's not very good.
Yeah, but like in order to do that, you're taking like what, 5 damage on average.
You're losing the first round, the second round, and then the third round because you can have a 2/1 and 2/1 drops.
Yeah, maybe
you'll lose maybe even 4 rounds in a row. It's probably better to buy level, roll twice and then 3 times, or just roll 5 times and 5 money. It's hard to say.
Yeah.
Pogo's definitely seems like something I want to try. I doubt it's good, but it'll probably be fun enough.
Yeah.
7 minutes is a lot on tier 2. There's only like a couple, 6 a row. So there's 12 plus 4. There's 16 tier 1s. 6, 12, 18, 20 tier 2. So there's.
But you're going to have fewer minions.
36 minions.
But you don't have all those minions in because.
Yeah, you have less than 36 because there's a tribe missing.
Yes.
So. You mean you're looking at like 30 minions probably.
Probably.
And you have to like 7 out of 30. Is that what the math is? But you have 7 tries at the 7 out of 30?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's hard math, but it's basically like above 25%. Like that's pretty good odds every time you roll to see a Pogo.
Yeah.
It's probably
well, it gets less likely every time you buy one and keep it. But if you're buying and selling them, then it doesn't cause that problem as much.
But it also goes up. It's also like hard because it goes up as people level up because they're seeing less 2-drops with each roll. So there's less
more
times you roll where they have the minion on their board or whatever.
Right. Yeah.
I think it's if you're gonna do Pogo with anybody, it's Shutterhawk or Arana now. I wouldn't think it's good with Dino Tamer Bran.
Yeah, maybe.
Now that it's only 5, there's probably a world where you still level and do a normal build. You just like after you roll 5 times, you just have an incredible amount of consistency.
Yeah.
Like there's probably a world where you just buy, level, sell, buy, level, buy, and then you just start rolling. And then once you're like on either the 9 money or the 10 money turn, you just have an incredible amount of consistency. Like if you hit good minions, you just don't need to roll, right? You just buy the good minions.
So you're saying you get to 7 minions at like tier 3 or tier 4?
Well, yeah. So you buy for 3 gold, level on 4 gold. You either sell your token or your whole minion and buy 2 2-drops on 5. Buy 2 2-drops on 6. Level, buy. If you're just hitting good minions, there's no reason to like throw the game away on like a gimmick, right?
Sure.
And then you could just turn 8, roll twice, buy a minion, or roll 5 times, buy a minion, because you probably have, what is that? You'll have 6 minions going into that turn. So you'll have 2, 2, 1. You'll have 5 minions at lowest. 6 if you had a token on one.
Mm-hmm.
So you either buy 2, roll twice, or you like buy once, roll 5 times, like roll 6 times, sell a minion, buy a minion. I mean, it's you complete it on turn 8, and you just have incredible consistency the entire game as you level up and roll.
Yeah.
Like you can just level on 9 again, and you just like hit all the good stuff theoretically. Be alright. And if you don't hit the nuts and just kind of level out clean, there's always a word that you stay lower and farm triples.
Yeah.
I mean, it's definitely better. There's no denying that. I don't know how good it'll be, but right now Arana's sitting at second to the bottom, and makes sense to change it.
Yeah. And
Fix her up a bit.
Speaking of other things that made sense to change, we have
Hook Tusk.
Hook Tusk, yes. So we kind of called this that it would get changed, but so it got changed. So instead of discovering a minion from the tavern tier lower, you just get one in your hand.
Get a random one.
Get a random one, yes, which is very much worse.
Instead of just changing one on the board as Malygos, you change one and then it goes to your hand. So it's better sometimes, worse sometimes, with the drawback that you can't change Bob's Tavern like you can with Malygos.
Yeah.
My guess is Sierra is going to fall to like tier 3.
I would agree with that.
Maybe, Malygos is tier 4.
Yeah, I think there's more good battle cries than bad battle cries. So I'd say
I think the battle cry advantage is slightly better, and changing Bob's Tavern isn't nearly as strong.
Yeah.
It's usually just something you have to do, but like Malygos Hero Power is not useful early because you can change around
yeah.
in a meaningful way. So it'll be slightly better, in my opinion, about maybe around tier 3. Like a Sky Captain Craig, Akazamrak, Alex Shaza type 5s. Although Akazamrak's actually, like, if you sort by 11k plus, doesn't have enough data. Most people think, top 1% thinks that character sucks. So him and like 3 other people at the bottom.
Yeah.
But according to the top 50% chart, which actually the numbers are changing now. They update the numbers, which is kind of interesting. It used to be 7K was top 50%. Now it's 6,200. How's that work? Does that mean
People are getting worse at the game?
is that what that means? People are getting lower? Or maybe they just like then maybe it wasn't top 50 before, it was just like top 7K, and now they changed it to offer a top 20%, top 5%, and top 1%.
I don't know. Anyways, so we also worth saying for Battlegrounds,
Yeah, it's a pretty big one.
Pirates are no longer guaranteed.
Yeah, it makes sense. You leave
every
them in every game when they're new, but now that they're just one of the many,
Yeah.
you rotate it like normal.
We've got a new minion, which is tier 6.
Big Pog.
Yes, and this minion is cool. It's
got some funny interactions.
a 6/6, and it's
6-star.
battle cry for each different minion type you have, adapt randomly. So we know adapt.
And it's also an amalgam. So if you
Yes.
have one and you play a second one,
yeah, it's pretty pog. Not
I'm
gonna
assuming it works like a normal amalgam where it just adds one to it and not adds all of them.
lie. Yeah,
But it's worded weird where it's like if you have for each different minion type you have, well, this is an all, so I have all of them, so I should adapt. But I think you'll only.
well, I
ever
mean,
get, like,
there's
4 or 5.
there's
'Cause when you
some
have a
listed in the
curator,
amalgam.
works like that.
They have amalgam, or the ones listed for amalgam is there's like several that aren't even in Battlegrounds yet, like
Yeah,
Elemental
Totem.
and Totem, and yeah.
Mhm.
So I would assume. I think it is just going to be an extra one, but
It'll
it's
just add as one that you don't already have. But yeah, I
Right.
mean it's an interesting. So like, it'd be good with Murlocs maybe, because you can just like throw it in and you can get a Divine Shield Murloc out of it with Bran.
Yeah.
But in general, I feel like it makes Discovering 6 worse because it's not a win con on its own. It's like
mean,
another like strong minion.
I
type
like it. You get Light Fang on 5, you get this on 6. So
It's
there's
decent with
something there.
Menagerie.
There's something
Yeah, it's
there.
good with the Menagerie. You can take out like your weak minion and pop this guy in, but
Yeah. Because then
when
it
you
just
switch over from like
counts.
the Light Fang amalgam or Light Fang Menagerie to a Bran Menagerie, which if you're on, you should be doing. 'Cause that's just the way it gets stronger. You don't want to leave Light Fang in all game unless you triple it.
Yeah.
Once you get like your Bran and you phase out the Light Fang, if If you have 2 spots open, you can put the brand and this guy in and adapt it like 4 times, or some brand is like 8 times. Which I don't even know what that looks like. It's a 6/6 Divine Shield, Poisonous, Stealth, maybe 3 health. Is a 6/9, maybe Plants. Like, surely Stealth isn't an option, right? That doesn't make any sense.
So
there's Taunt 1+1.
It just kind of reminds me of Galvadon.
It is very Galvadon-y if you
and
have
the
a full board plus.
And the name is Amalgadon.
Amalgadon, yeah.
Amalgadon.
The last dinosaur.
Sure. All right. So cool
it's
minion.
Card. Definitely not a win con, but it's pretty fun.
Yeah, I like it.
It's all over the gap.
It's a good ad.
And then the worst change we're going to talk about in the entire day.
Yeah. Goldrin.
They've decided to nerf Goldrin to a 5-star to a 6-star.
Which will make it pretty much unplayable.
Absolutely no sense.
It's pretty much unplayable now.
Playable, but it's just like you're nerfing the wrong card, man. Like I get it on its own. Macaw's not a problem. But neither are beasts, man. Morlocks still exist. Like maybe it's only in the top, like, 20% or Murlocs are really a problem. I kind of feel like that's the case because people don't know how to play Murlocs. But in the top, like 10% of the game, this beast comp is not the problem. Like,
well, and I think Baron's a bigger problem. I think Baron makes more sense to go to 6 than Goldrin. I would hate it, but I think it makes more sense.
I might agree with that. That would make sense. Then you can. Although the problem with that is you can get like the Goldrin and the Macaw. I used to get those first anyway. So you kind of like get the comp naturally anyway. You just have to go to 6.
Sure.
Where now it's like to get the first piece of the puzzle, you have to go to 6. I mean, this is a 6-star 4/4.
Yeah.
Like bad. At least make it like a battle cry and death rattle like Gurgle. So like when you play, you at least buff your beasts. But like, it just makes no sense. They're nerfing the wrong card. I feel like.
Yeah. And it's weird now that you've got. Now Goldrin's at 6 and Mama Bear's at 6, so Beast builds.
Discovering 6 this patch got much worse. Discovering 6.
Yes.
Because this is a card that requires help. Like you have to, at the very least, if you're going old school, taunt it to make sure it dies. And if you're going new school, you did like a Baron and a Macaw and no other Death Rattle beasts. Like it's not just something you rip and like, all right, let's force this beast comp now. Like sometimes you can do with a Kalecgos, although. The more that I play, the more I realize Kalecgos just blows. But that's a topic for another discussion. This is just like, I'm going to discover this at 13 health, needing a win con. It's like a 4/4. It's like, ugh. I'd have to already have Brand. Like, this just seems sad,
Baron.
really.
You mean Baron. But yeah.
Well, you need the Macaw before the Baron if you're going that build.
Well, you said Brand. I was correcting you.
Well, if you have Brand, you wouldn't want a Goldrin, so it would also just suck because you'd see a Goldrin. But yeah,
all right.
I don't like the change. It's probably okay, but beasts aren't really the problem.
So that's the end of our Battlegrounds changes. So now we're moving on to the constructed changes that hit today.
One thing we didn't mention on Battlegrounds is that these new heroes and changes are available for people with the Battlegrounds pass. I believe, whatever that was called. And the new heroes... Actually, it's just Test Greymane. Test Greymane comes out the 28th for people who didn't pay, and it came out today for people who did.
Yeah.
Small.
Which I pre-ordered today, so...
Well, you didn't have the Battlegrounds?
I did. But, it's the last one it counts for? Okay. That's cool.
I thought so, but maybe not. Do you have to get it again?
You do have to buy the Battlegrounds pass again. Yes. But I don't know if that happened today or not.
I think the one we have counts until the patch comes out.
I think,
obviously if you pre-order, you get it. But I think the one we have counts this.
Yeah.
It'd be a shame, because what else? You didn't get anything else out of it then, right? I mean, what have we gotten with it? Like a hero or two?
Yeah.
I had to discover 4 instead of 2 heroes, right? But,
yeah.
I
still strongly disagree with the Battlegrounds.
You don't like the monetization method?
Yeah, I wish they would monetize it some other way, but it's whatever. And since I'm gonna be pre-ordering most expansions anyways for the packs, I guess it's fine. But
yeah, as long as you get the 80.
Yeah.
You definitely got to monetize Battlegrounds. It's incredibly popular.
Oh, absolutely. But I just think they went about it the wrong way. But I mean,
potentially,
it's fine though. That's also
kind of
a conversation
agree, but for
another
entirely
day.
different reasons. Yeah. All right, let's move on.
All right. So We had some changes. I'm just gonna focus on the ones that are wild important.
You going top left?
Oh yeah, Corsair Cache. So we had talked about this.
Mine's in a different order. Yeah, we
Oh,
did.
we talked about this a few episodes ago, and I
You
called for
wanted
it.
it nerfed.
I wanted it nerfed to make Pirate War because this is not like a build around card, but it's like one of the best support cards in Pirate Warrior, which is the best deck in the game, as far as I'm concerned. So what I wanted to see happen was them nerf it so it only gained attack, but they decided to go the other direction with it so it only buffs durability, which is relevant because it's
Oh,
like,
it's certainly the better statistic. It's covered below if it was +1 attack.
oh yeah, sure. But I wanted this card to get kind of like it's still
You
a
wanted it to,
tutor.
like cost more money or something.
It's no, it's still a tutor.
Like, I don't think a 2-mana give you a weapon +1 attack would be played, would it?
But it's not that though.
Would
It's
you still play that though? If they did that change, would you play the
oh,
card?
I wouldn't play it. But well,
So
I
I think
actually
it's-
might because it's still really good to draw ink art
Would
when
you
you
play
need
a
it.
3-mana Corsair Cache that adds the old effect?
Yeah, absolutely. I think
So,
so.
this shit makes
this
a lot of sense. Like, it lets you get your utility. Like, it lets you generate your lackeys if you're playing standard to draw your pirates if you're playing wild without like also dying slightly as fast.
Yeah, this change.
I think it's a fine change without nerfing the card.
So this change effectively for me, like
Makes
the three weapons that I see run in Pirate Warrior the most, depending on whose list it is
Stankar,
Ankar, Wrench Caliber,
Oh.
and Livewire Lance. All three of those have 2 durability.
effects that has to do with their durability.
Yeah.
So this card's pretty big deal.
Yeah, but
Nerf wise.
pretty much those. The only thing that this nerf does is it lets them push 3 less damage over the course of their weapon's life.
Well, Wench Caliber pushes in the last an entire like not a bomb.
If
And you
it
draw
doesn't,
one
if
less
it doesn't,
pirate.
if it doesn't do durability, but it does still.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah,
So, yeah, there's just 3 less damage in all those.
yeah. That's the only change for Corsair Cache. Is it's 3
Yeah,
less.
it doesn't do a
damage.
whole lot to wild, I suppose.
No, it's kind of non-existent. I wish it was the other way around.
Standard too.
Although,
You got rid of the durability.
yeah, I'd rather it be
2-mana
attack
draw
and not
one.
durability.
Is basically all it is. 2-mana
It's a
security,
tutor
draw weapon.
effect. I think tutor effects are still. Although at that point, is it better than Forge of Souls? And I doubt it would be. Right, but I don't know. Anyways, so that's my thoughts on it. Is they didn't nerf it hard enough. I think Pirate Warrior is still gonna be quite good, but Dragon Caster was nerfed, but that card doesn't matter
That
in Wild. So
Card came out of nowhere.
I think it's important in Reno.
They just wanted to nerf like
Reno
all the
Mage?
classes, I guess. Yeah, I mean Reno Mage and Standard is what you play from like Mage,
Right.
Highlander Mage, but like it's
Yeah.
like delays puzzle box a turn.
Sure.
It was just a wild. I did not see that nerf coming. Maybe it's good. Like maybe I should have, but I don't think a lot of people necessarily wanted that card to be nerfed.
Not really
Mage is
important to
certainly
Wild
not
in any way though.
Polarizing.
So we're gonna skip over it. Dragon Queen Alexstrasza has changed it to the dragons cost 1 instead of the dragons cost 0. That's a pretty big change.
Yeah, makes
Like-
sense for Standard. For Wild, it probably kills the card.
I mean, to an extent. I mean, if you're playing a Highlander package, you'll still probably run this card. But like the difference between being able to rip this on 9 plus 2 free dragons, and compared to now, if you rip it on 9, you don't get to play any of the dragons. If you
It's
play,
massive nerf.
if you play it on 10, you can only play 1. Like it's huge. It also gives you a lot less flexibility because like a lot of times you would play Alexstrasza on 9 and it would fill you up to 10 cards in your hand and you just rip one of the free dragons to like go back down to not burn a card.
Yeah, so you have to like be more careful of your hand size too when you play.
Yeah.
It's definitely a like I mean with Corsair Cache here, it's a standard nerf. They nerf her in standard when cards are still in standard,
Hmm.
and in standard the card was so powerful that you just sometimes win games when you played it.
Sure.
Like you just like you play a game back and forth for the first 8 turns, and then you kind of weaken your opponent a little bit. Maybe you're both kind of running out. You just play this card and you play a bunch of like 3 big dragons. It's like, well, you could just win on the spot with that, right?
Yeah.
In Wild, they had like 2 decks. I just played in like Highlander Hunter and like sometimes in Pew Pew Priest. Pew Pew Priest if they wanted to run it before, they could still run it. You're still getting 1 mana cards for your hero power, but
Yeah.
like it'll be less good. They probably won't run it. The nerf will probably make it feel bad enough. Like it was already not good enough to play. That was just like a fun enough card
Right.
that you could get away with it. And now like it being nerfed will probably, even if it's still playable, people will probably view it negatively because it was nerfed that they won't. Would be my guess.
Yeah.
In terms of Highlander Hunter, I have no idea. I mean, probably still play it. It's
Yeah.
a Highlander card, but
Plus, it adds dragons to your hand, which matters a
Very
lot
rough.
more. It matters a lot more in Highlander
Yeah.
Hunter because they run the dragon package stuff. So you
it's a
want
good nerf.
more dragons. So
It's a very powerful card in standard.
good nerf. It doesn't kill the card most of the time. It's still fun.
Yeah.
Still going to see
The
play
next-
in a lot of Highlander card decks.
Yeah. The next one is similar to the Dragon Caster, where you
Fungal Fortunes.
nerfing you're nerfing 2 classes pretty hard. You want to give a little bit of nerfs to the other top decks. Token Druid with that card, and the 7-mana 5/8 when you play a spell, get a random 3-cost beast. Mountain Seller.
Mount Seller got
That
nerfed.
Mount Seller. No. Mount Seller
Oh.
was in the deck that this was ran
Yeah.
It was like the only minion, basically.
Yeah.
And so you'd have a bunch of spells because you'd have Glowfy Swarm and the other token stuff, and it was pretty much an all or nothing deck. This weakens it a little bit, keeps it on par with the nerfed Mage, the nerfed Demon Hunter, and Rogue.
Sure.
Try to balance stuff out. It is what it is. It's a 2-mana draw 3. Pretty good if
Awesome.
a deck works with it.
Well, it's a 3-mana draw 3 now.
Yes, which 2-mana draw 3 was pretty good.
Yeah.
Most 2-mana draw 3s get nerfed if there's
Well, Book of
good enough
Specters.
way to not have the drawback.
Book
well,
of
that one, it was hard
Specters got.
That was hard to get rid of the drawback, but it was
Sure.
also they killed Mountain Giant, which killed that card.
To an extent, yeah.
That card was also very good though, because you just run all minions and Book of Specters, and Reno was like a clear spell with a stick, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's this one and the next the next one, and Dragon Cast are all kind of in the same theme of like bringing the top decks down a little bit.
Yep.
Without killing them, although this one's like disgusting for Rogue. It's brutal in terms of standard Rogue.
Yeah. Galakron Rogue, or the Rogue Galakron, also not really relevant for a while, but real briefly, standard it's a 4-mana nerf to the card, which is nuts.
Yeah, so like they're probably still gonna have to play Galakron in standard because literally every card that's ever been good in Rogue has been Hall of Famed or nerfed.
Yep.
Like in the history of the class.
They don't like Rogue.
I have this lovely tweet here I want to read. It's really kind of funny. It's in quotation marks. It's like a fake quote. We don't want Miracle to be played forever. So Conceal, Flurry, Prep, and Leroy are out. And we don't want Rogue to have board cleared, so we deleted Advantage. Oh, and Cold Blood made aggro viable, so we nerfed it. Hey, why is Rogue only playing Galakron decks?
Yeah, I saw that tweet
Every
too.
good card in Rogue gets nerfed.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, they have nothing to play. They're still going to have to play Galakron. The only difference now is they're probably not going to want to fully invoke it. They're probably just going to play it when they have it,
Sure.
which means they'll probably cut Maniacs. It sucked anyway. They might even cut, like, the Galakron's Awakening and Kronks if they, like, really don't care with the package. They just want the card.
Sure.
But there's not a whole lot of choices. Like, you either lean into, like, the stealth. There's, like, that stealth version. Or you lean in, like, really polarize it. You go for, like, Malagos, which is still a card in this game. Or you curate it to, like, I mean, it's just, like, there's probably going to be decks that don't run any invoke cards in row, but still run that card just for a better hero power.
Mm-hmm.
Because invoking it's just something, like, every time you invoke it, you, like, the nerf hits harder. Like, you're just like, oh, another 1 mana, like, and you hit 0 mana card, it's going to hurt even worse than before when it already hurt. Just get a 1 mana backstab. That would suck.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty bad. Rogue's getting whacked. I'm not really sure why. I mean, it makes sense. That was the only good card. And there were games where they'd play a fully invoke Galakron and just win on the spot. It was pretty, like, unfun. They wanted to make room for other stuff, but, like,
Well,
at some point you have to buff other stuff.
the good news here is all of these nerfs, like if they kill an archetype or a class, like they just did for Rogue, they only have to deal with having a dead class for 1 month, and then they get all new cards.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, it's going to be a short time, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's a great time for nerfs.
Oh,
Matt has
absolutely.
figured out it's late in the expansion.
Yeah.
Nice in life, but if you're a rogue player, it feels bad.
All right, next card is Kane Sun Fury.
This one's honestly still just a standard nerf, right? Because the only thing that exists in Wild is
Demon Hunter. Yeah, no one plays Kane.
I never actually even owned this card. I didn't play much standard Demon Hunter, but it was just like it was slightly too good of a card. You just like play it on 4 to rip it.
Sure.
You didn't even like necessarily care about the effect that often. You just play a 3-mana 3/5 item for 3. Fill up your board.
Can you get Kane off of?
People?
Can you get Kane off of Zephrys? No, it's an Ashes. It's not an.
Yeah,
it's not Initiate. If it was Initiate, this card would be so good.
Fireball, like her.
Well,
Zephrys doesn't read cards, so it wouldn't know you'd want the effect, right? It doesn't know your opponent has taunt, right?
Sure.
That's why it doesn't give Master Spell.
Doesn't it?
I don't know. It does very bad with those type of things.
It gives Master Spell for like taunt or for death rattles, but it doesn't
really like big taunt death rattles. Yeah, but
yeah.
It doesn't fully understand everything.
Sure.
But yeah, no. I mean, this is just you nerf it slightly without killing it. Hopefully, 3/4 is definitely worse than 3/5, like significantly.
Yeah.
But when you have a charge effect, the stats have to be in line.
Yeah.
That's fine. Shouldn't kill a card. It might, but like the thing is, they've nerfed Demon Hunter now more than any other class in Hearthstone history.
That's not true.
Which has to do partly what is true. It has partly to do with the fact that they nerf more cards now.
Yeah.
And
they brought Demon Hunter in so powerful because they wanted it to be fun. They wanted it to be fun and playable and catch up to the other classes.
So,
but they overdid it.
The cards that exist that were nerfed, Demon Hunter wins, but they've nerfed like other sets more, right?
Sure.
So like the Demon Hunter set has been 29% of the cards that came out have been nerfed.
Yeah.
Where like 21% of classic cards that have come out have been nerfed. But like in terms of classes, a lot of classes don't have 13 nerfs to cards like that, like Hall of Fames, unless that counts. In which case,
I'd count Hall of Fame. It's the same sort of thing in a lot of cases. A card is determined not fair to play, so they either change it or get rid of it. So, it's in the same vein. Moving on, we got Metamorphosis, which is a very, very minor nerf. It's from 5 damage each time to 4 damage each time, so you're losing 2 damage over the course of the switched hero power. I think Jordan...
Seems bad.
Oh, thought you muted your mic again.
Seems like a bad card.
You think it's that much worse?
I don't think, like, with all these changes now, you have to play Demon Hunter differently. You can't just, like, every turn throw stuff at their face.
True.
But it'll probably still be played in certain decks.
Yeah, I mean...
It's just better to, like, kill a board now, right?
Yeah, I think
like
Demon Hunter will still...
hitting a 6/4 doesn't feel as bad as, like, missing 5, miss 4.
Yeah, it doesn't. Okay. It doesn't hit. It doesn't hit the 6/5 now, which is unfortunate.
6/5.
The Priestess.
Priestess of Fury.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it probably shouldn't. That's crazy that you can 1 minute kill a 5-drop, 1 minute kill a 7-drop. I mean,
yeah.
7 mana, you're 2 for 1, right?
Sure.
1 card. It's hopefully another nerf that weakens it without killing it, but it's less bad than the next nerf. Like all these nerfs, the worst ones are like the 3 on the right that aren't Kane, because mana nerfs always hit harder than card text nerfs usually. Although you basically increase Galakon by 4 mana at the top, so I guess that one hurts the most.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, this card's probably one of the ones on the list that'll be scathed fine. This and Corsair Cash are both fine.
Yeah.
Just mana nerfs aren't as bad. I mean, 2 to 3 is a lot. 7 to like 11 is a lot. 9 to 11 is pretty bad. 5 damage to 4 is fine. I mean, it's whatever.
Yeah.
They love nerfing this class because it was all so short.
And then
I'm really excited to see what new Demon Hunter cards come out in the next expansion.
So
finally have more than like the same cards that like.
I want to see Control Demon Hunter become a thing. That's what I want.
I will eventually.
Eventually.
They have
Wild
control cards that just never get played.
Yeah.
Oh, it'll never be played in Wild. There's too many combo decks. Control it can't be played in Wild.
True.
I don't think that'll ever change.
I want it to. I miss Control.
You could play it, but I don't mean it'll be as good as like an Odd Warrior that just loses to most things.
I miss Control a lot.
Well, we'll beat up the aggro if aggro's good enough.
Chain Raza.
Yeah, I mean the next one hurts the odd Demon Hunter.
Yeah, so
Mage
Warglaze of
Warblades cost
Azzinoth.
more.
Warglaze of Azzinoth is now
Is that being
6
played?
mana. What?
Was that being played in Wild Demon Hunter?
It was one of the best
was.
cards in Odd Demon Hunter.
Okay.
And
Yeah,
now
if you look at HS replay, it makes sense. You go to Wild and the like percentage for the classes is like not close. Demon Hunter's at 55, the next is 52. Like that's a huge gap.
it's a good nerf for Wild. This is, I think, the only nerf that they really had Wild in mind for. Because,
Yeah, it's also a standard.
I mean, it's a standard nerf, but it doesn't do nearly as much in standard. It's just like a coming
'Cause it's
down
not
one
removed
turn.
from the archetype.
Right. It comes down a turn later, but in Wild, it literally, like, Warglaze of Azzinoth is your best tool against other aggro decks. Straight up. Like, because you face tank some damage, but you get rid of a wide board, which Odd Demon Hunter doesn't really do that well otherwise. So, I mean, this is the most impactful nerf for Wild as far as I'm concerned. It
Fair
just,
enough.
it fully destroys. It doesn't.
I think this is on the lines of the last stuff, where it's like just a small nerf in standard, and then it's completely removed in Wild. Right?
Yeah, it takes
Makes sense.
It takes Odd Demon Hunter from, I think, a tier 1 deck.
I think though, like
to
next
maybe, like,
expansion,
bottom
the
of
one
tier
after
2.
that, maybe when they get something else that's viable, the card could come back in Wild. But right now, there's only one Wild Demon Hunter deck you can really play. So
Although, big brain here. You can play it in even Demon Hunter now. So, big nerf to that, or big buff to that deck.
literally does not exist.
Hey, people have been.
I wonder if
been
people
mean
realize
about it.
why it doesn't exist.
I think
Literally
most
cannot
people who play Wild understand, but because everyone memed on it in Twitch chat for the first like 2 months, and people got tired of the joke. All right, so that's all of our balance changes. So now we get to move on to the super duper fun stuff. We have a new expansion. So the new expansion is called Scalaman's Academy, which I think I said it right. The intro song says Scalaman's like 9 times, but I didn't really understand it well at any time because they're always screaming it.
Scalaman!
Yeah. So
Yeah, we got a lot of cards. Let's
yeah,
get to it.
yeah, man. So we've got them all on here.
Holy cow!
We can kind of. Is there an order you want to take them in? You just want to go left to right, top to bottom?
left. Yeah.
All right.
Skip over the bad ones.
Yeah.
Relatively
So
quickly glaze over them.
2 mana, 3/2 rare. Cult Neophyte.
Spells cost 1 more.
Battlecry, your opponent's spell costs 1 more
I
next
actually
turn.
really like that as a card. I don't think it'll be good in most games of Hearthstone because tech cards are bad.
Yeah.
But that's like a really interesting card. It's kind of like the Loatheb vibes. It's like if you can use it at the right time, it could be quite good and very interesting.
So compare
Similar
this
to like a mana burn.
Compare this to that mage minion, the 3 mana 3/2 that makes it. That's a passive effect that does this, and where it's 1 more. This card just loads better because
Well, because it sticks around, they can't kill the minion, right?
right. So like they can't trade into this and have the effect go away. So
Yes, but
it
it's
just
also-
happens.
They don't have to kill the minion for it to like stick around another turn. I mean,
Right.
It's pretty good. It's one of those cards you'll weave in as a tech card if it like makes sense, so you can play it on the right turn. But tech cards generally are bad. So while it's a cool card, I don't know what home it'll find, but I do like it. It's a nice card.
Yeah.
Sideless. One isn't like game losing, but it'd be kind of funny if you like stab your opponent for power blasting to win. It'd be kind of funny.
Yeah.
All
Next
right, next one is
card is
Mage and
devolving.
Shaman, dude. What?
Yeah. So they have dual class cards, which
Dual class.
I
cards.
wanna
Guys,
talk
what,
I wanna
2
talk about-
classes?
So a couple of weeks back, I had made like some custom cards just for shits and giggles.
Did you have
uh,
dual class cards?
I did have dual class cards. So after
Yeah,
we're done with
boy.
this, we'll just real quick, not like look at the cards, but just like see what combos I got right, because that could be fun. I know Mage and Shaman, I think I actually had for Elementals.
They have 10, which is interesting. So like some classes have 2 that they share with.
Well, so there's
which is
10,
nice. There's 10 combos. So like Demon Hunter
Yeah,
goes with
yeah.
like Druid and Shaman.
and that's how I had it too. That's how I had it when I did it. But yeah,
Not everyone has toys.
not everyone does.
No, because there's only 10 combos, right? There's 9 classes.
There's 10 classes.
Right. So 10 combos. Oh, does everyone have it twice then?
Everyone has it
So it's
twice.
5 for 5?
That's how that math works out. Yeah.
Oh, big brain.
Yeah. So
Druid Hunter. Oh, yeah. Okay.
So-
Warlock Demon Hunter.
I did call Mage and Shaman for the record. When
Nice.
but I had it like all elemental synergy, which maybe we'll get. But anyways, the card Devolving Missiles. It's a 1-mana spell that shoots 3 missiles at random enemy minions and transform them into ones that cost 1 less, which I think is dope, and it's a card that I will play at some point if I play either
So
of
it's an
those
arcane
classes
missiles that only hits minions, but then also defaults instead of dealing damage.
instead of dealing damage. Yes.
That's crazy if you just like whip it out and like nail the taunt and get lethal. Like a 1 in
Yeah.
7.
It makes more
Pretty
RNG. I'll tell you that.
I don't know if this card's good, but I definitely like it. Kind of like the last one. It's definitely interesting.
I like it against like
I'm not sure what cards it goes in. It's like maybe good against Q Block and Brez Priest
it's yeah.
type vibes.
Big
but
Big Priest, Q Block, and Big Shaman are the things that come to mind for
it's,
me.
I mean, sure, you spend the money, you get just 9. Like, I mean, it's I don't know. It's interesting.
And if there's only one thing on the board, you can hit it 3 times and devolve something by 3. So, or at least that's I assume how that works.
So if there's dual class cards, are they adding like the same number of cards, or are there like less cards? Because this counts as one of Shaman's cards and one of Mage's cards.
So I think I looked at it, and 40 of the dual class card, or 40 of the cards in the set, which I think is still 135
Are
like
dual
normal.
class?
40 of the cards are going to be dual class. I think each class will have each individual cards, but they'll have the same number of class cards. They'll just be shared somewhat, which I think ends up being more neutral cards, if that's how that works.
Yeah, I don't know. All right, interesting card.
Yeah.
Don't know what classes or cards. It'd be interesting to find out.
Yeah.
Spell Burst.
So 2 mana,
That's-
2/3 Shaman card.
Pretty good in like a control deck, right? You like play that, and you like.
Let's read the
play.
card first. So 2 mana,
Yeah.
2/3 Shaman card. Diligent Note Taker. Spell Burst. Return the spell to your hand. So the way that
Spell Burst is the keyword, eh?
Yes. So Spell Burst is the first time that you play a spell.
Well, that's
It
play.
while it's in play, it activates the effect. So this one says return the spell to your
Very
hand.
nice.
And actually,
So that's
is this
immediately
just
I
Shaman,
think of
right?
like it's a Shaman card, yeah.
yeah,
Immediately I think of like Hagatha's Scheme, Earthquake, Volcano type vibes,
good control
where
card.
you can like this card in Warlock, you just rip this plus twisting the other, get a twisting the other back. That type of vibe seems really strong.
Well, it's just Shaman,
So
right?
and I'm like pretending it's a Warlock card to
Sure.
get my message across, because twisting the other is like the best card this would work with. But obviously that's not a Shaman card. There's also potentials where it's like you play this evolve and then you get to evolve again.
That's cool.
Potentially, I would assume it works that way. I'm assuming it wouldn't just evolve and then the spell burst.
I wonder if
maybe if it works
if you
after
do
you cast the spell, so it might not work with evolve even.
if you do Unstable Evolution, do you get an unused copy of it back? Because that'd be pretty pog.
You might, yeah.
Because like you get the Echo version and then
It
you get
depends
the
how it
unused
works. Like
version.
if you cast the spell, the spell casts, and then this like card does its animation that does the thing, or if like you play the spell, the animation goes off and then the spell does its thing. Like it depends what order.
Yeah,
I'm assuming it would go in the order where you get the spell, no matter what spell you play.
I would assume so
Because
too.
otherwise, you couldn't. Otherwise, if it worked afterward, you couldn't even like volcano with it because it would be dead.
Yeah,
That'd be so weak. It surely has to work the other way, so it would work with evolve.
I would imagine so. Yes.
It's a very nice tech card, like combo card. Very nice for control. There's probably combos with it where like you like play this and like I don't know, fireball your opponent's face, whatever, crackle your opponent's face, get another crackle, and
Oh
like
no
like,
no!
well-
This goes an even Shaman. No,
this goes an even shaman with crackle. You're correct.
I'm upset now.
What other?
Now they're gonna
what other
crackle me
cards
for
is even
7
shaman
3
has?
times.
3 times in one game for 7, dude.
Ugh.
What is Eva Shaman? Do they have? Is that 6 mana Stormbringer like a card? Or did that get
Yeah,
7 mana?
it's 6 mana still. That's very
Oh,
good.
so Big Shaman has Eureka,
Ooh yeah.
but that's kind of got negative synergies with Eureka. Although
Very
no,
much.
it doesn't, because you'd play this first, right?
Yeah.
So there
It's
only have
cheap
negative
enough you just
synergies if
play
you have
it.
2 of these in your hand, right?
Other negative synergy is if you have Muck Morpher in your deck, which some people run, but you can easily
Muck
build your deck.
Morpher.
You can build your deck differently, Right.
Could get rid of Mike Moore for top distance. So let me see if I can find even Shaman. They run Stormbringer, which would be kind of interesting with this card.
Devolves
You get
good with
another
Even
Stormbringer.
Shaman too.
Even with like Maelstrom Portal, you could like on turn 6 deal 2, and I don't know. So 0 mana cards aren't considered. They are considered even. So like you could run
Totem
like
stuff.
that card, play Totemic Might, and then play Totemic Might again.
Yeah.
Crackle, you could do Devolve, but having to Devolve twice would just be unlucky. I don't know. Yeah, I think it definitely could go on Even Hunter.
I mean,
Even Shaman.
sometimes you like hold back the second copy,
Oh,
right?
some people want Wind Fury. You give 2 of your minions Wind Fury.
Ugh,
You're 8/8 and you're like 5/5 with taunt, and you hit them for 25 or whatever.
gross.
26. Yeah, that card will probably fit in Even Shaman.
Probably. If there's
That's
any
pretty
good
interesting.
spells in it.
It'll
Yeah.
probably also go with like the weird control slow shamans that never work but are fun to play.
Yeah. I mean, Shutterworks sometimes works. I like Shutterworks.
What's this next one? 0 mana.
It's a Paladin card, 0 mana, first day of school. Add 2 random 1-cost minions to your hand.
That card seems terrible.
I agree. Let's move on.
As you see like random. I mean, it's like a.
Random 1-drops are terrible, especially in Wild.
So it is a 0 cost card. So if there's like a reason that a 0 cost spell would be good, like spell burst maybe you could activate your spell burst with. But like, I don't know.
Or if you're
Really
doing like Yogg, or if you're doing like
Sure.
if you're doing
You
Gadgetzan.
might find a way to be okay, but most of the time it's just gonna be a 0 mana card that gives you crap. I don't know.
Yeah, I agree.
Let's move on. The next one is a priest card. It's a 1 mana 1/4
Vanilla. It's
vanilla 1/4.
It's Frazzled Freshman.
Also not that interesting, but kind of strong potentially.
Yeah, 1/3s are pretty. 1/3s with
If
effects are
this-
normally really good. 1/4s
I
vanilla
don't know if
still
that's the
seems
first time we've
decent.
ever seen that.
Right, it
Well,
still
priest
seems
is
decent.
like it's extra arms. It's 3 mana now, but like they have so many buffs. They have extra arms. They have in Wild. They have what Valence Chosen, and there's Apotheosis, whatever that card's called.
Sure.
The Ziliax on a stick. That's also 2 mana cheaper.
So here's what I
And
think about this
magnetizes and
card.
everything.
In Wild, you play this on 1. Your opponent can't remove it because what 1 mana card
It's
deals
pretty
4.
Good, yeah.
And then
It's a good one.
you play like the
Divine Spirit
you-
and fire hit him for 8.
I mean that, or you like do
It's 0 mana
like,
power.
you do
power
the-
and shield, dude.
you do the Kieran Tor Chaplain thing, that the 2 mana 2/3 that gives 2, and then you do Cabal Talon Priest to give it 3, and then you
Wait,
on-
what?
so it's a
Oh,
1/4.
Give it 2 howl, so it's a
Yep.
1/6.
1/6, and then Talon Priest, so it's a 1/9, and then on turn 5 you play Divine Spirit, Inner Fire, you kill him.
Wow, yeah, assuming you keep it alive. But yeah, I mean, I'm sure that's going to be a decent deck in Reno Priest because it's just a 1 mana 1/4. You want one of them. Good enough to clean up a patches or 2.
I don't know if I would not run a vanilla 1/4 in Reno Priest. That deck is so
I mean, I would. You play it on 1 and you help with aggro.
that deck is so
It's also
refined
just a 1
already.
mana card that you can. That's fair. It's a 1 mana card though, so like it's
Sure,
6 damage or whatever.
It
It might make the cut.
maybe we'll see.
It is a 30 card deck, so there's bound to be a card that's not very good.
Priest has a
But there's
lot of
also
good
bound to be new
control
cards that
cards.
might even be better than this one. So maybe you're right. But I think it's definitely an interesting card.
I
even
like
if
it.
It's fairly boring and unflavorful.
I like it in Combo Priest with the
Or just like a
Interfire
mid-range priest.
Interfire Priest.
Yeah. Divine Spirit Interfire.
Yeah.
This is
Alright.
a card that could not exist prior to that being Hall of Famed.
Yeah,
Could not
no.
ever print this.
Standard would
2
absolutely
mana extra
crumble.
arms with this card.
All right,
Alright, next.
3
What are
mana
the
4/2
token
Paladin
special
card.
cards?
Goody 2 shields. Divine
What are
Shield.
named?
So it's a 3 mana 4/2 Divine Shield with Spell Burst, gain Divine Shield. So it's like you get a Divine Shield, and then whenever you want to play a spell, you get a second Divine Shield. But if you
Yeah,
don't play
so
if you don't
gonna
play
have
a
to
spell,
attack
then
with
like
it, and then get another Divine Shield. It's just kind of like that other card, Glass Knight or whatever, where you like play
yeah,
spell or something. What is it?
when you
Is Glass
heal.
Knight literally just
Glass-
when you heal.
Glass Knight is when you heal.
I mean, this card's not very good.
No.
Although, 3 mana 4/2 is just a power creep on the 3 mana 3/1 Divine Shield that also has spell burst. So if there's a minion based Paladin deck, it'll probably see playing standard.
Sure.
But I don't know why you'd ever run it. Like, I don't add Paladin. I don't know if that makes the cut. Like, you do
Probably
run
not.
1 mana like things that could be worth it. Like, you run like 2 1/1s.
You're on the competitive
Yeah,
spirit.
Lost in the Jungle or whatever it's called. You run
Mhm.
Muster for Battle. I don't know. You might write it in there, but
Maybe. 4-2 is kind of
It's
a weak
like a-
body for odd
Yeah,
paladin.
2 health, but it's got Divine Shield. So it'd
Sure.
be interesting. It'll probably find a home in standard if the right cards are printed, but like Paladin just gets gimmick after gimmick that making a dex.
Yeah.
Who knows?
I mean, Divine Shield is a gimmick they've been
It's
had
cool.
since the beginning.
Well, yeah, but
Uh,
minion quality is varied by expansion drastically.
yes.
I say we move on. Got better cards to talk about.
This next card, Twitter is already calling for the nerf of. Lightning Bloom.
Coin.
Lightning
Innervate,
Bloom
kill, and
is
Yeti, baby.
yes, that's what they're gonna do. Lightning Bloom is a
Yeah.
dual class Shaman and Druid card. Gain 2 mana crystals this turn only. Overload 2. So people are saying you're gonna like Lightning Bloom, Ancestor's Call into a turn 1 Scrapyard Colossus
And wild, eh?
in Wild. And if
And then not have a turn 2, which is pretty good because you're overloading for 4, but it's only turn 2 anyway.
yeah, but
Okay.
also you have a
My first
7/7
instinct when I
that
saw
summons
this
a
card was that it
7/7.
sucked, so that's pretty interesting that there's like it's only got combo potential really. Like the overload is like so painful.
Yeah. It's not good in aggro, but it's good in like combo. Or like things that want to play big things.
Like you get out a 4-drop on 2 and then you don't have a turn 3 basically. Like I don't.
Well,
That doesn't seem very good in like
so
normal play.
in Druid, right? I
But
could
in
see
Druid with Aviana and Cocoon, it's gonna be quite good.
yeah. Also in Druid, if you use this to get to your Overgrowth turn, so if you're at 2 mana and you Lightning Bloom to get to 4 mana to play Overgrowth.
You then don't have your next turn, but then your turn after that.
Well,
just
no,
use it
no.
again.
No. Because you overload for 2, but you're also gaining 2 empty mana crystals with
Oh,
Overgrowth.
so you have 2 mana the next turn,
Yeah.
which is basically hero power.
You have
passive.
3 mana with the next turn, but like
Oh,
yeah,
wow. Yeah, I mean it's really good in Wild because you can do combos with it.
sure.
Aviana Coon's gonna be nuts. They didn't have a 0 mana gain 2 anymore, which would make that much easier to do.
Yeah.
You
They
can do it. On
they
turn
nerfed
9 now.
Innervate and then immediately
Only
brought it
you can.
back.
Yeah, they immediately brought it back, but it's a much worse version.
Sure.
Overload and Druid's fairly interesting. There's no like neutral cards that have to do with Overload, right? So
No, there's not.
it's just
It's
strictly
only
a downside
Shaman.
for Druid.
Yeah.
In Wild or in Shaman, you have like the 3 mana 4/6 or 4 mana 3/6. I can't speak. That
Also,
generates one of those rush and plenty out. You have the other cards that like remove your Overload.
so I'm thinking on turn 1, you play Tunnel
This fits
Trog.
an even Shaman.
On turn 1, you play Tunnel Trog. You Lightning Bloom, so you have a 3/3 and
Oh,
2
God.
mana
Full
crystals. And you
aggro.
play a Totem Golem. So you
I
overload.
don't know.
You overload for 3. You have a 4/3 and a
I'm thinking
3/4 on turn 1.
Coin, Lightning Bloom, 7/7, baby.
Ooh. But
I think
Tunnel
it just fits
Trog.
an even Shaman. It's just nuts.
Sure.
Because there's reasons for like overload in that deck, as well as like you put Lava Shocks in. You got Lava Shocks, you got the Spellburst dude, you got Lightning Bloom.
Yeah.
You can go like Diligent Note Taker, Lightning Bloom, and then like Lava Shock, and then have 4 mana left over just off the Lightning Blooms alone, let alone your turn.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's definitely. I think this and Diligent Note Taker definitely going even Shaman in Wild. I don't know if it'll go in like slow or control decks in Wild, but it's very interesting card. It's gonna just make the like ever so boring combo Malygos Druids better, right? Which will continue to make it so you can never play a control deck.
Yeah.
It's pretty interesting. It's an Innervate that has a negative. You gain it this turn, lose it next turn. Definitely better in Shaman where the overload can be negated or used. But it's also like better in Druid in the sense that they have better uses for it consistently. So it's, I mean, I think it's just a pretty okay card, but in like standard play, like two mana playing a 4-drop is probably not the best use of the card. It'll probably be a Mount Seller type vibe in standard, if I had to guess. I think it's an okay card. Obviously, a 0-mana card in Wild is nuts. It'll get broken, but that's Wild. Things are kind of always going to be broken.
Yeah. All right, moving on to
Definitely the most interesting card.
yeah, Lightning Bloom's
Could
pretty
just
interesting.
suck, but it could also be nuts.
All right, moving on to
What's this
Nature
next?
Studies. 1 mana, discover a spell. Your next spell costs
So
1 less.
What's the? There's another card that did this, isn't there? In the past.
And is this dual class
No,
or
it's
this
like
just druid? This is just druid.
Primordial Glyph. It's like Primordial Glyph, but it's for Druid, and it's a 1 mana that discovers a Druid spell.
Okay, but it's
It makes it one
also
less.
unlike Primordial Glyph. This doesn't say this turn. It's whenever.
What?
So Primordial Glyph said your next. Oh no! So this is more like Haunting Visions and Shaman, except, so instead of saying the end of your turn, it's whenever you play your next spell.
Discover a spell. Your next one costs 1 less.
Your
Primordial
next
Glyph was
your
reduce that
next
spell. Okay.
Yes, your
So
next
it's
spell.
the 1 mana Primordial Glyph for 1 if you use the spell that turn. But it could also reduce a different spell. So yeah, that's a Shaman card that does that.
No, it's the
Or-
Haunting Visions. Yeah, Haunting
Oh
Visions
yeah,
was
yeah.
Shaman.
Haunting Vision, you discover a card, and then
And
it
then your
costs 3
next
less.
spell, costs
Yeah, and
3
the next
less.
spell you cast costs 3 less to
Yes.
discover a spell.
But it's that turn.
So it's, I mean, it's you see this all the time in Hearthstone. It's very similar to 2 cards, and they kind of like meet in the middle.
Yeah.
It's like you
And
take
this
the Haunting
one-
Vision's effect and make it like a smaller Primordial Glyph, add it to Druid.
I feel like this is good with like it's really good
I
with
think it'll be good.
biology project.
It's like
It's really
the
good.
idol that they used to have, and you never discovered a minion anyway. So this time you're discovering a spell and making it cheaper. It'll
Yeah.
probably be run in most Druid decks,
And I feel like there's combo potential if you're making spells cheaper, right? So
standard and wild.
Yeah.
I think it's just a solid card. You won't run it in like token probably because you just want minions and buffs, but
yeah.
a lot of decks it'll make sense in. All right, what's this? Whoa, what's it say? Oh my gosh!
Battle Gore. 9 mana,
God.
9/9. Death Rattle. Resummon this with -1/-1/-1.
I don't want to play Warrior in Arena ever again.
Yeah. This card is a Warrior Legendary, and I am in love with it. But I know it'll never be good. so-
It'll absolutely be trash in a while.
Yes, because even though I want to live in the world where you can play a 9/9 on 9 and not die immediately, that world is
Good luck
not
with
the.
that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
My dream with this card, right? My dream with this card is to play just this card and N'Zoth, and just have a board full of Rattlegores.
because it just keeps getting value across the game.
Yep, and
You
I
could definitely
like.
make a
So here's the
control
shell.
deck where you torture someone with that.
Here's the shell I want to put that in. So you put it in a Lackey Lock. So then on turn 10, you play this with the 9/9 and the Rush guy. So then it's actually useful on turn 10.
A Lackey Lock?
Or not Lackey Lock, Lackey Warrior. So,
Warrior cards make Lackey just a weapon and like the 1 mana card.
yeah, but they also have the neutral ones. So that
Oh.
you play this with the Rush guy, so it's not terrible when you play it. And then you can let it go down until like it gets to like a 7/7 or a 6/6, and then you play the Evolve Lackey on it
Wait, does
to
it say it was Zoom with -1 and 1?
yes, -1.
Oh, that said +1 and 1. I still thought it said.
No. So that's why I say you evolve it to like make it make it so the bad death rattles don't show up in your pool.
Huh.
But
How do you evolve it in Warrior?
with the evolve lackey.
Okay.
So you can either use the rush lackey or the taunt lackey to make this thing relevant when you play it, and then you can like evolve it when it gets
That's
bad.
not even good and wild.
Shut up! I want to play it. I'm gonna play it just to screw
I'm gonna
with
love
you.
it when someone does that against me and they like N'Zoth with it, and I have like a 1 through 7/7 of this, and I just like defile them. Great.
Well, that's the thing though, is I want to evolve it.
Or you have a.
I'm gonna
if you
evolve
have
it
like
so-
3 through 9. I'll just like play a.
I'm gonna have
Cool
I'm gonna
more
have
than
I'm gonna have
Mistress of
6
Natures
through
and-
9. I don't want anything below a 6. You kidding me?
6 through 9, so a 6, 7, 8, 9.
Yep.
I don't know. Then you're only gonna have a small board.
All right, moving on. We got a Beast and Hunter legendary, which, by the way, this is a combo that I called Beast and Hunter with my custom cards.
With Beast, sure.
With Beasts, yep. So it's a 3-mana 3/3 choose one legendary minion. You can either give Beasts in your deck +1 and 1, which is the exact text of the card I made, or transfer into a copy of a friendly beast, which seems much, much worse, but maybe there's combo potential there. I think this is really good in
You make another King Cross type vibes.
yeah.
Or a high main even. That was pretty good.
Like if you hand buff a King Crush and then
In
you
Hunter
copy it.
specifically, I don't think you like will have enough buffs that you'll want to like buff them, right? It's more so in Druid you'd buff a board of Treants that are beasts, right?
or board of beasts in some form.
It's in your deck. It's not on your board.
Okay. Oh my gosh, that's why it's a legendary. Eh?
Yeah.
It's like a kill thoughts if you're playing a beast deck, and it doesn't require an R3 draw.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty
You mean-
strong. if
you mean
go out early
Taldaram.
and You got a lot of beasts.
Yeah, I think, and what really excites me about this is that
beasts.
Druid Hunter or Beast Druid is going to actually be a real deck now because they're going to get
Bring back the
get
Tiger in the 6 minute, make another one combo.
but dude, the reason that this is going to be a thing now is because they're going to print dual class beasts now, and they're going to be good enough to be in Hunter, so that means they're going to be really good in Druid.
maybe.
So I think Beast Druid might
Makes sense why
actually
it's
be
a
a thing.
legendary if it's in your deck. That makes sense. Fair enough.
Yep.
It's an okay card. Did you say in your deck or on the board?
In your deck.
And you made it like 5 cost, didn't you? If I remember.
Oh, I
I think
made it.
your version
I
was
made
so much
I made it a legendary, and it was in your deck.
Is it what?
Yeah, it was a legendary spell, and it was in your deck.
Yeah. It was
But
like
you-
5 mana. It was terrible.
Something.
Disgusting.
I don't know.
This is so much better.
I'll pull them up after we're done with this.
No, very interesting.
The next card, Transfer Student, everyone got
This is actually something
for
that
logging
I
in
saw,
today.
like asked for on Twitter by the same person I mentioned earlier. They thought choose one shouldn't be just Druid
Hmm.
because it doesn't make sense for that to be a Druid like class identity. Like having choose one in every class, and I know this is a Druid card, so probably it hasn't done that yet. But having it in every class opens up so much design space.
Yeah, it does.
Like it's just choose one. Like it just allows your card to have choices. Like why is that a Druid thing? It makes no sense. So I mean, obviously this is a Druid card in half, but that'd be nice to see in the future more choose ones in other classes.
I mean, I think the same thing about combo with why is it a rogue thing?
Right. Yeah,
You
you,
know?
play a card, you get to play a card. It doesn't make sense for it to be a rogue thing either. It's fair enough.
Yeah.
Are there any other? Are those the main two? Like, I guess there's Overload is another one. That's
Yeah,
like a word that exists in a certain class.
that's all right. Overload can stay in Shaman. I don't want it in my classes.
Well, Overload's boring and bad for the game in most places.
Yeah. Moving on, we got Transfer Student, which everyone got 2 copies of today for logging in. I played with it a little bit.
Free.
Yeah.
How's it work? I have no
It's
idea.
so you draw
Like,
it.
if I mind control it, does it change?
It's on. It's the game board. So like the background, you know how you can like
Oh,
break the
my
glass on the
gosh.
churches.
So, like, is it out there with options there are?
I'm sure there is by now. Because I was
The
playing.
next expansion comes out and they have to add more to this card?
Yeah, every time there's an expansion come out, they have to add to this card.
What a wild card.
So I played with it a bunch or a little bit today. So there's one that gives you a random Death Knight card as a death rattle. So it's Arfis for 2 less. There's one that adds a random weapon to your hand as a battle cry. There's one that has a battle cry add a random Plague of Doom to your hand. So like Plague of Death, Plague of Wrath, Plague of Madness, all those cards. What else was there? There was a few more that I played with that I don't remember, but like, so there's a different one for every game board, which is impossible to build a deck around, but it's like really fun. And 2 for 2 is not terrible either, but like some of these effects are stupid powerful. Like Death Knight cards are good.
There's one that gives Death Knight cards? Wow. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
On the Knights of the Frozen Throne board,
Makes sense.
it's a 2 mana
That's
2/2
only a
death rattle.
wild thing, huh? They already have wild boards made up?
Yep.
That's funny.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I have no input to give this card. It's like
It's-
wild to understand, and it's going to be like impossible to evaluate until you see all the options. And
It's wildly
it's so inconsistent. So
inconsistent.
You can't, like,
Yeah, you can't build
it's
it.
just a card you
can-
play that might be good.
Yeah.
On a deck that like needs a card to add.
So far, what I've seen of it is it seems to be more tempo oriented. Oh, there's the Boomstay one. It's 2 mana 2/2 Battlecry Taunt. If you have 10 mana crystals, gain +5/+5.
So the 2 mana 7/7 on 10. That's not very good, honestly.
Yeah.
By then you're doing more powerful things, I would assume, than
Yeah.
playing a 2 mana 7/7. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe not standard. I mean, it might be okay.
It'd be fun
You
in
can
like
also play it as a 2 mana 2/2, which is probably okay at the end of the day.
it'd be fun in Shutterwalk Shaman.
Sure. And
Um,
Shutterrock would also grow. That's kind of funny.
Yeah.
But you can't do that consistently, so.
sure. I mean, like a lot of the effects. Of
But you might be able
Battlecry,
to put
that's why.
this consistently, right? 'Cause, yeah, the battle cry get like Lich King cards. Pretty interesting.
That's a death rattle, unfortunately.
Nah, gross, grotesque.
Yeah.
Should be at the end of the turn. Make it Lich King. True Mana Lich King. They're
Yep.
like 2/2 with that taunt.
All right. Next,
very interesting.
next card is a warrior card. 8 mana, 6/8. At the end of your turn, summon 2 3/3 ruffians that attack random enemies. So it actually has some impact when it comes down, but it's
3/3 ruffians that attack random enemies.
yeah. So
Do
it's
the ruffians have text?
probably not. No. It literally like
That's a standard card if I've ever seen that.
on an empty
Arena
board.
card.
On an empty board, it's a fireball to the face on 8 with a 6/8 body plus some 3/3s.
Yeah. Oh, there's no wild deck that's gonna run that.
Oh no, absolutely not. Let's move on.
On standard, it'll be good. Potentially.
Next is a rogue and mage card.
Hey,
1 mana, 1/2
mage gets combo.
combo.
And rogue gets
Discover
mage spells.
Discover a mage spell.
I can make so many jokes here. Like they got rid of so many rogue cards that they have to give them mage spells.
Big rip.
We're all got mages not going for them, so they had to give them combo. Rogue having underpowered 1 mana 1/2, so they would have a 1 mana 1/2 to mage. I like this card. I mean, discovering a mage spell is interesting. I wonder if they flipped a coin or like did actual like thought balance wise on which one was better. But
Mage spells are way better.
mage
than
spells are
rogue
obviously better,
spells.
so it makes more sense.
Yeah.
If you do both, then it's like too inconsistent.
Yeah.
I mean, it's good and it's good because it like can like be a combo activator as well as like being a fairly okay card. I don't know what in Mage you'd play this in. You ever play this in Quest Mage? Does it need this?
No.
Does
Well,
like
you
does
could.
aggro, like the Secret Mage doesn't need this? Like I don't see this working out in Wild.
It's another random.
Mage.
It's another random spell generator, but like it's just
Well,
worse.
maybe
It's-
over like a Babbling Book, but
it's-
you can't play it on one.
people don't play
But you can
babbling
play it
book.
on two with the quest.
People don't play babbling book in Quest Mage anymore.
Fair
Jordan.
enough. All right, well,
They-
you
they've-
can play this on two with the quest if you don't play on the quest on one because you just like play like the 1 mana 1/1 that gives you an arcane missile stuff out.
You'd rather just
On one
play.
you play that and this on two, but
You'd rather just play Magic Trick because that guarantees a cheap spell, which is going to be a lot easier to play.
yeah, because also you could just get like 3 high cost cards. Yeah, I don't see this making any play in Wild in either class. Maybe Odd Rogue, but like I don't.
I like it in Rogue better than I like it
It
in
doesn't
Mage.
seem consistent enough. In Standard, it'll probably find a home in both at some point.
Yeah.
Depending on what needs a little bit of generation. I mean, Standard's like created by cluster right now.
Sure.
So many classes dominate with just creating absolute nonsense.
Yeah.
All right, we can move on. It's an interesting card, but it's nothing groundbreaking.
Next one is a 4 mana 2/5 neutral common. Spell burst, deal 2 to all other minions. So like
I love the dream of playing this in Rogue and you rip this down. He's got like a board of 2/2s and like a 4/4, and you just backstab the 4/4, and it's just like what an arena swing turn that would be.
Oh yeah.
Put out on 4 with backstab. Even if it's just got like a 2/1 and a 3/2, you play this, you like backstab his like 3/3, you're like I don't know. You just got like 2 minions that die. It's like so powerful.
It's good with eggs.
She damaged all minions. Yeah.
It's
maybe.
it's a little low for eggs, so a lot of them have 3 health. But like there's that O2 that summons 3 1/1 scarabs.
It'll be an interesting like early game like mini clear in some decks that otherwise don't really have the best option.
Yeah.
But I don't know what home it'll find. I don't think it'll see much playing Wild. It's kind of weak, I think. Maybe just for fun you throw it in like Arena Warlock. But what spells he playing? I don't know. Dark but their face or something stupid to play that. Like I don't know. It's weird. And then you're getting like a 6 mana turn where you're playing a 2/5. Like you could just like Hellfire. I don't know.
Sure.
Probably not a wild card, probably a standard card, but most of them are, right?
Yeah. All right.
A lot of powerful stuff has to come out to make it in wild. All right. What's
So
next?
that is all of the cards.
Perfect.
I want to real quick. We're just gonna run through these. So
See if you had anything special.
let's see. Warrior and
Nothing close to that yet.
Warrior and Hunter. There was nothing. Here.
Didn't even have the class. Brutal.
Mage and
You got that
Shaman.
one.
I got, but it was so. If there's elemental synergy, then I'm partially
Yeah, you
right.
have like a Gan effect, eh? But it's like a spell. It does nothing when you play it. Doesn't make sense for that card to ever be printed as a spell in hindsight. But
Sure. We got Druid and Hunter, and it was about beasts, so we got that.
It's not that effect, but instead it's like a one-time thing that you have to draw on a stick. Yeah, pretty
Yeah.
close. Just makes a lot more sense as a maiden for all of these, honestly.
Well,
is there
for these,
is there
I
a priest?
for these I made them into. You have to draw the spell and cast it. I didn't make it start a game.
Oh.
Yeah, that's what I did. This one was priest
That's
and
terrible.
paladin, which actually is one of the combos. I'm looking at the
Right.
list right now.
Yeah.
We haven't seen any cards for that combo yet, so it could be dragons. Who knows?
Yeah.
I had warlock and demon hunter, which is another one of the combos we haven't seen any cards for. Could be demons.
I mean, a lot of these make sense. It's really intuitive.
Yeah.
Demon hunter, demons.
We had shaman and
Beasts makes
paladin.
a lot of sense for the other two.
This one I did not get right.
Murlocs.
This one I did not get right. There's
They
no
didn't have a shaman or a no shaman paladin.
Nope.
Because shaman goes with what? Mage and like warlock.
Mage and druid.
What is shaman? Mage and druid.
Yes.
Ah, okay.
I have warrior and rogue, which is a combo. We haven't seen any cards for
Decent.
pirates. It's cool. We have priest and rogue,
You had that. Yeah.
which
Does
is
that exist?
it does not exist.
No, fair enough. You did a lot of them.
Yeah.
Big brain, dude.
We had mage and warlock, which
That'd be a wild one to exist.
also does not exist.
That's a bit of a stretch. Spell damage, yeah. Makes sense.
And we have druid and demon hunter, which also does not exist.
Looking about 50-50 here. Nice,
Yeah.
not bad.
So
Something you made a few months ago.
yeah. So the ones that I didn't have that they have are hunter, demon hunter, warlock, priest, paladin, warrior,
Dual
and
class cards, Pog.
rogue, mage, and shaman druid. So I had 6 of the 10. Ooh, Cream Puff is rating. How's it going, dude? We're
Yeah,
just
you got a big
finishing up the
roast.
podcast.
We're pretty
Alright.
much done. We talked about everything from the new patch.
Yeah.
If you guys want to listen, you have to go back and listen on YouTube when it's posted, or one of the other places you listen to podcasts these days.
Yeah, with that, we should probably plug our stuff.
I'll
So,
wrap it up, yeah. So you can get the game.
yeah. So, I am on YouTube and Twitch at Vapod1. I'm on Twitter at Vapod1_HS. The podcast, you can find it on YouTube. You can find it on Apple Music, Spotify, Google Podcasts, all that good stuff. Jordan, you want to share your Twitter handle like always?
Dude, follow me on Twitter at JordanMGS, dude. That's all I care about.
All right.
Chat with me about Hearthstone or something.
All right, that's all the time we have for today. So, as our closing remarks, what do we do if we see one of those there people's champs on two?
We buy it
We buy it.
so it can go boom boom and make us
Yes.
happy.
We win with the Kaboom Bot.
Never lost a fight with the people's champ on my board.
Never.
It's
not
just facts.
possi- it's not
You can't
possible.
Prove it wrong.
It's not
Nope,
possible.
hasn't never happened.
All right, guys.
Yep.
Catch you next week. Bye-bye.